All right. Well, we are on a tight schedule today, so we will go ahead and get started. First off, just thank you all for joining today's call. My name is Mackenzie Hunt, and I am the Director of Strategic Communications and Brand Advancement at the WCHA, and I will be taking us through the call today. We are on a tight schedule with only 15-minute time slots allotted for each school. So with that being said, I just will go over some quick guidelines for the call today. Each coach will have a opening statement when they come on from their team, and then we will give the media an opportunity to ask questions after that. Then, following each coach, we will have a student athlete representative be available for an additional 5 minutes for questions from the media. We do ask that you keep your microphones on mute until it is your time to ask questions. And then throughout the day, please utilize that raise hand function feature on your Zoom. As Byron from our office will allow you to speak on your end, you will be prompted. So please just accept that in order to ask your question. Also, when asking your question, just please state your name and affiliation before asking your questions, just so that way our student athletes and coaches are both aware of who they're speaking to. And then, as a reminder, this Zoom will be recorded and uploaded to our WCHA YouTube page as well as our website later today. And then we will also be clipping this throughout the week to post this throughout our social media channels. So please be sure you're following us there. Well, now at this time, I will hand it over to Commissioner Michelle McAteer to provide some opening statements as we get the day started. And then we'll have time for questions for Michelle after that. So, with that being said, I will hand it over to Michelle.
Great. Thank you, Mackenzie. Just want to say good morning to everybody. Thank you for being here and taking the time to speak with our coaches and players. And thank you for your commitment to cover our league and women's hockey. Before I get into the league specifics, I do want to start with some staff intros. And I do want to acknowledge Bill Brophy, who has decided not to return this year in his role, but we are certainly grateful for his contributions over the years that have spanned well over a decade, and we do wish him well. Mackenzie, who you just heard from, has returned as our and earned the title of Director of our Communications. She works extremely hard to tell the stories of our league and does a tremendous job. So thank you, Mackenzie, for organizing today's event, but all that you do for the league, its coaches, and our players. Byron Sinstengard is our assistant commissioner and oversees our league operations. He manages our schedules, our finances, a lot of the league logistics. He's detail oriented, committed, and does so many things behind the scenes as he is today that allows us to run smoothly. We're also really excited that we have added two interns this year. So we want to welcome Kendall Nelson, who will support Mackenzie with communications and with some graphic content design. And also want to welcome Dylan Loft, who is going to assist Byron with some administrative tasks and assist Shep with video clipping and sharing with coaches and our officials. Greg Shepard returns as our director of officiating, and he offers us 27 years of experience in the WCHA. And Greg cares deeply about his officials, about the coaches and the players, and he's very respected because of that. Our staff, and myself included, we're really excited to kick off the 2025-2026 season, which starts a week from Friday. And the WCHA continues to be one of the most historic and successful conferences in all of NCAA women's college hockey. WCHA has produced 22 national champions, and Wisconsin returns and enters the season as the defending national champions, also regular season champion, and reigning quick trip final face-off champion. We have 5 straight years of, ooh, little tickle there. So we're really excited that we have 5 straight years of an all WCHA NCAA Final Face-Off Championship game matchup. And last season, 3 out of the 4 teams who competed in the Frozen Four were from the WCHA, and we had 4 teams make the field. As much as I do love to brag about our our league success, it truly is the people that make it special. And want to start off by welcoming Coach Mira Yalosolo, who is taking over the reins at St. Cloud State, a WCHA alum coming off a very successful championship run with the Minnesota Frost. And Mira is taking the baton from Brian Adolski, who is making the jump to the PWHL. It's important to note that with Mira joining us, we now have five former women's WCHA players leading as head coaches, and we have six WCHA alums, including Mark on the men's side. And then in addition to that, we have nine other alums who are serving as assistant coaches. So it really, really is great to see so many coaches choose to stay in the league to help to continue to lead in the league and help grow our game. It really is going to be a very exciting year for women's hockey, especially factoring in the 2026 Olympics. Our league features a number of players who are vying to make their national teams. And so our fans can continue to catch our tremendous talent on our broadcast partners, streamed on Big Ten Plus, and select TV broadcasts on Fox 9 Plus and the Big Ten Network. It really is going to be a great season, and I look forward to hearing from our coaches and our players today. Thank you, and welcome any questions while I take more water.
Thanks, Michelle. Do we have any questions for Michelle at this time? All right, Michelle. Well, it looks like we have no questions, keeping it easy on you today. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to join the call today. And with that being said, we will now turn it over to our Director of Officiating, Greg Shepard, who has been, I believe it's his 27th season now. Greg, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I will turn it over to Greg to give us some updates in his department this season.
Good morning, everybody. No, Mackenzie, you're right on. 27 years, and that's why I don't have any hair. Anyway, good morning, everybody. I just want to touch quickly here. This is a non-rule change year, so everyone knows that. Every 2 years is they look at new rules, but this year the rule change was last year, and this is a non-rule change year. So there's a couple that they did kind of tweak a little bit with the high sticking. It went back to at the net to score a goal 4 feet. Anywhere else on the ice, it's shoulder height. And video review, anytime a referee is anticipating to call a major penalty, they will have to look at it. They will have to go in and review it. And their options are coming out with nothing, coming out with a minor, coming out with a major game, or major DQ. Those are kind of our little tweaks. The thing that's going to be interesting is in the WCHA only, we have an experimental rule of high sticking unlimited, and that's for WCHA games only. The coaches voted on it, and we got the approval from the NCAA to do unlimited high sticking. That means no matter how high the puck is, to score a goal or to knock it down anywhere on the ice, there will not be a whistle in WCHA games only. Non-conference games, we will revert back to the NCAA games. So that's going to be very interesting for the season. I know that the last rule change year they were a couple votes away from going that way, but they kind of poo-pooed it more or less. And we're going to keep data on how it works on goals, if there's any penalties with the high sticking, stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting this season. The only quirk to that is on penalty shots or on shootouts, we revert back to the NCAA standard where you cannot score a goal above the crossbar on those two items. Other than that, away we go, and it should be a great year. We got great teams, great coaches, great personnel, and I think I guess after all these years here, I still look forward to hockey starting. I still look forward to WCHA. We have a great staff, great people, and the most important thing is it's a team, and we work as a team. And I think that's what makes the WCHA so good. No matter who you are, coaches, players, staff, officials, we're all in this for one thing: to make our league the best in the country. So that's all I have, Mackenzie.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Chef. Well, with that being said, just another reminder before we head on to our first team of the day. So again, please keep your microphones on mute and to please utilize that raise hand function feature to indicate that you would like a question or to ask a question. And then Byron from our office will prompt you to come off mute at that time. So now with that being said, we will turn it over to our first team of the day in Minnesota. The Gophers were selected to finish tied for second in this year's preseason coaches poll while receiving one first place vote. The Gophers also had a preseason all WCHA selection in redshirt senior Abby Murphy, who was last season a top 10 finalist for the Patty Kazmaier Memorial Award and second team All-American. Last season, the Gophers recorded 29 wins and made their 16th all-time appearance in the NCAA Frozen Four after defeating Colgate in the NCAA Regional Finals. And today we are joined by head coach Brad Frost and junior forward Ava Lindsay. Coach Frost is entering his 19th season with the Gophers, and during his time with Minnesota, Coach Frost has recorded 528 wins in his 18 seasons. Last season, Coach Frost was also named a finalist for the Women's Coach of the Year award by the American Hockey Coaches Association. Coach Frost, thank you very much for joining us today. I will now turn it over to you to give us an opening statement and outlook on your team for this season.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mackenzie. Excited to be here with all of you as we are gearing up now. There's a lot of energy around our group. We have 10 new players on our team this year with seven freshmen and three transfers. And one of the great things about coaching college hockey is every year is a little different, and you have new players to incorporate into your team, into your program, and and set the course and set the pace for what the year is going to look like. So we are very excited about what's to come and looking forward to a wonderful season.
All right, well, thank you, Coach Frost. Now we will start with questions. We'll start with Jared.
Hey, Coach, this is Jared Rubedo from the Bemidji Pioneer. I have two of them for you. I want to start with you had a late exhibition scheduled against Bemidji State in Brainerd, kind of a midway point between Bemidji and Minneapolis, but it seems like a really cool opportunity to just kind of keep growing women's sports on a local level and bring college hockey to communities that don't have it. Can you speak on that and kind of how that came together?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, the NCAA allotted teams to have one exhibition game that was exempt. Um, Both us and Bemidji, I believe, were working with teams from Canada to try and have those teams come down and play us in Bemidji, and that fell through, and so we just felt like it made sense to play against each other. To have Amber's team come all the way down here or us to go all the way up there didn't seem to make a ton of sense, and so we just discussed how we could kind of, as you mentioned, get to that halfway point, but also an opportunity to grow the game, to allow other young girls and young people to come and watch that exhibition game and hopefully enjoy some D1 hockey right in their backyard.
I want to ask you too. Bringing back Abby Murphy is huge and just what she brings on the ice, but speak to her leadership qualities and how big of a voice that is to have back in the locker room.
Well, I think her experience first and foremost is the thing that jumps off the page. An Olympian, an All American, somebody that is a very seasoned veteran, so to speak. As she's coming back, theoretically, it's kind of her sixth year because of the Olympic year that she took off from us as well. And so, most people just see Abby on the ice and they judge her in regards to what her game is and those types of things, which makes sense. But what people don't know is who she is off the ice and what a great teammate she is, how she gets along with her other teammates and coaches, the things she does in the community. She's the first one to horse around with all of our coaches, kids, and young people that she comes across. And so she's just a wonderful person, somebody that cares deeply about the University of Minnesota, our Gopher program, and her teammates.
Thank you.
All right, we will now turn it over. We have a question from Todd.
Hey, Brad, Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. A couple questions for you. One is we're entering a season like we've never really seen before with the Olympic year, but losing players, but not for the whole season. I wonder how you see that playing out, or envision that playing out.
That's a great question, Todd, and I think it's there's still some unknowns about that, but I think the biggest thing is just how we have to be flexible and we have to kind of go with what comes, and know that there's going to be some adversity. We're going to be missing players in now the lineup for practices for games, and everybody's still kind of plowing forward and then reinserting those players when they return. Chloe Primorano missed the first couple weeks here. She's now back. She comes back, and Abby Murphy is gone. For a week of practice, and so you know, if we aren't flexible, if we don't have a positive attitude about it, then I think it could get pretty tough. But all of our players and coaches are committed to Chloe and to Abby and them having the best experience possible, both with us, but also trying to make their respective Olympic teams, which we are really hopeful for. And then, of course, come January and February, and potentially missing 5 or 6 players. At that time, it's going to look different, but we're confident in our culture and who we are, and excited for each of the individuals that are going to have that opportunity.
The other question I had was about the unlimited high sticking experimental rule. I know you were pretty vocal in favor of that. I guess can you go through what your thinking is and on how that helps or changes the game?
Well, there's a few things. One, first of all, I was a big proponent of it, but it all started with Chris Wells out at St. Lawrence about 10 years ago. It's something that he was fighting for. When we were talking about it as a coach's body 10 years ago, I didn't, it wasn't even something that I thought about. But his rationale, I thought, made a lot of sense. First of all, we're wanting more scoring in hockey. This is an opportunity to have that. Secondarily, and maybe most important for me, is it seems like anytime there's a potential high stick goal, the referee will either call it a goal or they'll wave it off, and they have an eighth of a second to make that decision. Even if they go back to review, it's still really hard to decipher whether that was a high stick or not because of the angles of the cameras, because everything happens so quickly, because of the quality of cameras, and that's obviously at the Division I women's hockey level. But even as you go to men's hockey, where maybe they have better angles in the NHL or collegiate hockey, it's still really hard to tell. And so this takes the onus off the referees to it's a good goal, regardless of where the stick is. Is it above the crossbar? Is it not? It doesn't matter, because it's a skill play. I know that the concerns are that it could potentially bring more injuries. I don't see that happening. I guess we'll find out this year. I don't envision we're not going to be teaching our players to swing their sticks and like lacrosse sticks and those types of things. But if you do and you hit somebody with a high stick, it's a 2-minute penalty. Maybe it's a 5-minute major for high sticking. But I know the NCAA and the rules committee is really excited about our league trying this so that they can get some data. I think they were really close to actually passing this rule in the last rules cycle. But without any data, I think they were a little concerned. And so I know they're appreciative of our league trying this experimental rule and seeing where it goes. But I'm certainly very excited about it.
Thanks, Brad.
Do we have any other questions for Coach Frost? If not, Coach, I have a question. We talked about some of your returners from last season, but can you maybe touch on some new additions that you have on the team this year, who you're excited about, and maybe some who you see making an immediate impact with the team this season?
Yeah, I think you go right to our transfers right off the hop. And Sarah Paul from Princeton, she scored 28 goals last year and was really successful. Molly Jordan was one of the most offensive D out in Hockey East at Boston College, and of course Jamie Nelson, who's just kind of that seasoned veteran that has done a great job at Mankato. So, you know, coming into our league is very, very difficult, and so for Sarah and for um, and for Molly, it's going to be a transition, but they're older, they're more mature, they've kind of been through the ringer with national team type scenarios, and so I expect them to make an immediate jump. And certainly for our freshmen, while they're all very skilled and talented, it takes time for them to hit their stride and get in the groove. But we're excited about our whole group of 10 and know that they're all going to make an impact in their own way.
Thanks, Coach. Again, if we don't have any other questions, I'll go for another one real quick. Just looking back at last year's success that you had, have you seen, with the outcome in that NCAA Frozen Four, it was a great season, but have you seen that outcome give your team any sort of extra motivation in practice so far this season? I know it's early on, but have you seen that play a role in their motivation at all?
Well, I think every year is different, but our returners continually look to the past and say, okay, what happened? How can we be better? We are a group that is expected to be in the Frozen Four. We're expected to win national championships. We haven't done that in a while, and as far as a national championship, and that's something that we continue to strive for. And as our players, show up each day in practice, that's a continual reminder that we need to do more. What we've been doing has been good, but it hasn't been good enough to put us over the hump, and so we're gonna need to do more, and we're excited to just continue to focus on the process, do things the right way, and we're hopeful that the outcomes will take care of themselves.
Thanks, Coach. Any other questions today for Coach Frost? All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Coach. We will now turn it over to Ava.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. All right. Well, we are now joined by Ava Lindsay. Last season, Ava recorded career high 27 points in 42 games with Minnesota off of 8 goals and 19 assists. Ava also recorded her 50th overall career point at the NCAA Frozen Four last season, and she was named a WCHA Scholar Athlete as well as named to the WCHA All Academic Team. Ava, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Ava at this time? All right, we'll start with Todd.
Hi, Ava. It's Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal and from USCHO. I wonder if you can put into some perspective how players are looking at this new experimental rule on high sticking the puck, and coaches in favor of. Oh, you guys are seeing this maybe playing out.
Yeah, I think obviously it's going to be a new rule and interesting this year, but I think we're all really excited about it. Like Coach Ross saying, it's a skill play to be able to score any goal like that. So I think it'll be a really cool opportunity to continue to get more goals this year. And yeah, I think we're all really excited about it.
And can you maybe give us some perspective on what Coach Frost was talking about there towards the end of that? There's reminders that the program needs to do more. How do you players see that as, it's a program that's done a lot and is held to a really high standard. What does that mean to you guys?
Yeah, I think just from the start of the season, focusing on the little things every day. I think that's a big thing our team's focusing on this year is just the little things in practice that'll add up in games. And I think obviously having a lot of new girls on our team this year, we're just trying to start the season off showing them how that's done. And I think, yeah, we obviously hold ourselves to a high standard, but just continuing to fine tune the little things in our game and as a team and in our culture off the ice will be really big in making that jump this year.
Can I just ask real quick, what are the things that you try to get the freshmen or the new players kind of invested in right away that this is go for hockey?
Yeah, I think first off, our team culture, being all in and committed to each other and, leaving our egos aside and being able to work together as a team and step into any role that you're given here. I think that's the biggest thing. And then obviously all of our on ice details that we focus on, just teaching them from the start what is expected and how we play, and then obviously how we treat each other off the ice. I would say those are the biggest things.
Thank you.
We have a question from Jared.
Hi, yeah, I'm Jared Ribeiro from the Bemidji Pioneer. I asked Coach the same thing, but you guys get to play another exhibition against Bemidji State, and it's in a community that doesn't have college hockey, and I'd imagine a lot of youth players are going to get exposed to watching women's college hockey for the first time in a local level. Um, how special is that for you to kind of be those role models in these communities that don't have the luxury of having this in their backyard?
Yeah, I think it's really special. It'll be a really cool opportunity to promote women's hockey and just continue to spread it around the communities. We're really excited to have that exhibition game and just an opportunity to kind of prepare for the season and get ready before our first game. So it's really great that we're able to bring that to a community that doesn't have college hockey. And I'm hoping that we can inspire some girls and some young girls to start hockey or just continue to follow our team in women's hockey in general.
Thank you.
Eva, a quick question for me. I know we mentioned it in your intro, but just going back, you had your career high 27 points last season. How do you kind of look at that accomplishment, and can you maybe talk about some of the goals that you've now set for yourself heading into this season?
Yeah, I think just continue to focus on, playing as a team player and doing what I can for my team. And obviously, those things will come just playing the right way. And yeah, obviously, everyone has individual goals, but I think I'm more just focused on our team as a whole and what we can do this season and how I can help contribute. Obviously, it'll be a different year with players coming and going. So just being able to step into any role that I'm given. And yeah, I'm just really excited for that.
We have time for one more question from Ava, if we have any. All right. Well, it looks like with that, with no further questions, Ava, again, just thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, for our next team of the day, we have Bemidji State. The Beavers were selected eighth in this year's preseason coaches poll, while recording 6 wins last season, with 4 of those wins coming in WCHA action, as the team earned league victories over both St. Thomas and Minnesota State. Today for the Beavers, we are joined by head coach Amber Fricklin and junior forward Haley Armstrong. Coach Fricklin is entering her second season as the head coach for the Beavers. Last season, she, in her first year, earned her first win as the head coach on October 18th in a 6-3 win over Lindenwood. She also guided the Beavers to their first series sweep since the 2022-23 season, as the Beavers swept St. Thomas at home in November. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. Could you go ahead with your opening statement and outlook on the team for the season?
Thanks, Mackenzie. Yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here today. Just want to start with thanking everyone for what you do to support our league and our league staff for what you do to support our league, our student athletes, and our coaches. We're excited and optimistic about a new season. The opportunity to compete in the WCHA is certainly something that we're so grateful to do. We know our league is one of the best conferences in women's college hockey. Every weekend's going to be competitive, and we are really looking forward to embracing that opportunity to compete every weekend. We've had a great preseason so far. We're already in week 3 of our academic year, so our players have been busy in the classroom and in the community volunteering on the ice and also in the weight room. We welcomed 11 new players this season, 8 first years, 3 transfers joined our group. It's been really fun to see their energy this year so far coming together in a short time as a team. We also welcomed a new staff member, Jess Strack, who will work primarily with our goaltenders, and we're really excited about that addition to our staff as well. But we're a pretty young team. We have 2 seniors this year, but we're really excited for the season. Opportunity to compete next weekend in an exhibition game with the Gophers, and then start our season at home at the end of the month.
Thank you, Amber. We will start with, we have a question from Rob.
Hi, Coach Rob Aiken of the Beaver Radio Network. Coach, you mentioned that 11 new players are coming in this year. Which ones of those players could you maybe identify that we as fans should keep an eye on this season?
Well, I'd say all of them, Rob. I think it's really important that, collectively as a team, we're really young. So we're going to rely on everyone throughout all of our lineup. Obviously our transfers, they come in, Kleppinger and Bray and Ava Hills as our transfers, they come in with a lot of experience. So they're going to come in and fill some significant roles for us. But also our first year players coming in and filling in some roles, both defensively with our 3D coming in and our four forwards. And so I think it's important that it's a collective group. So I think they're all going to come in and make an impact and fill in roles that are really important right away.
Coach, you've been together now for about 3 weeks in school, but you've had a lot of activities with these players over the summer. It's a little early yet, but could you tell us how you see this team's identity shaping up?
Sure, it's been so fun just to be around them all. It feels like we've been together longer than a few weeks. They came together really, really in a quick way. There's a lot of energy. They're always with each other. They're doing a lot of team activities. We've done a lot of community volunteering recently, which has been great for team bonding opportunities. We hosted our first camp, so our players had an opportunity to be together for that as well. So just really, I think the group brings a lot of energy, and I think they're really committed to elevating our standards and elevating our program. And so there's a lot of energy and commitment to putting in the work to continue to grow our program right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Rob.
We have a question from Jared.
Coach Jared Rubedo, Bemidji Pioneer. I want to start with Morgan Smith. She had arguably one of the best seasons for our rookie seasons in program history. What kind of steps forward could she take as a sophomore this year?
Yeah, absolutely. She absolutely just had such a great first year in our league. As everyone knows, it's hard in our league to come in as a first year and make an impact, but she did, and it's just a tribute to the person she is. She works hard off the ice, on the ice. She's a great human. She's a great leader. She's an assistant captain for us this year as a sophomore. It just speaks to who she is as a person and the commitment she has to making herself better, but also making our team better. So we obviously are going to rely on her this year. She's going to make a big impact on our program. So we're really excited about her. You can tell she put in the work this summer. She's got an extra step right now, and she has a lot of energy right now to continue to make an impact in our league. So really excited for her and what she brings to our program.
You mentioned only having two seniors, but when you look at this roster and the experience that a lot of the underclassmen have had, some of these sophomores and even in the juniors, just talk about how that experience maybe proves that this team is a little bit older than, their grade year.
Sure, yeah. Our junior class with nine players there have had significant roles for us for the last 2 years, and going into their junior year, they have a lot of experience. Our top point getters last year with Morgan, Haley, Issa, and Kate, they contributed a lot, and so we're going to really rely on them again this year too. And so again, our sophomore class and our junior class plays a huge role. And again, with their experience too going into this season, we're going to rely on them a lot.
Goaltending has been a strength of this program for years and years, and you get to add a goalie coach to that this year. Talk about what that does for the dynamic of the four goalies you have.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a coach working with our goalies, but the addition to Jess this year has been a huge advantage for us and something that we were looking to add to our program. And so, really excited to add Jess and her goalie knowledge and working specifically with our goaltenders. I know that's a huge piece for us as a program to continue to elevate our program. And I know our goalies are really excited to have the opportunity to work with her, and she's come in and absolutely hit the ground running, working in a lot of different areas, but specifically with our goaltender, she's doing a great job.
Last one, it's the same one I gave to the U of M representatives, but the exhibition in Brainerd, growing college hockey on a local level. How exciting is that for not only your team, but just the opportunity to do that in a town that doesn't have college hockey?
Yeah, any opportunity we have to grow the game and expose different communities to women's college hockey, having an exhibition game. We're really excited about. Our players are really excited. We're grateful that the Gophers and we were able to work that out. So I know the community brainer is excited about that too, and so a great opportunity for us to have an opportunity to get ready before the start of our opening series, but also again grow the game of women's college hockey in a local community. There's nothing better than that. I know our program and Minnesota also has had opportunities to play in very unique games last season as well, with the Hall of Fame game and the Gophers field day experience game at Ritter. So we've had really great opportunities to do some of those things, and some of those games are really really unique and make a significant impact on the game of women's hockey. And we're really excited to showcase WCHA hockey next weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
We now have a question from Sydney.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. This is Sydney from Sydney Wolf from APX Hockey, and I'm currently writing a story on Ava Hills. I talked to her last week. It'll probably be out later this week, but I didn't know about a lot of the different things she's faced throughout her hockey career, and just she had really good stats last year too. So, what kind of made you guys want to add her to the team this year, and what did you guys kind of see from her as a player that made you want to bring her into Bemidji State?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for writing that story on Ava. That's awesome. Well, we have a goalie injury, and so we were looking to add another goaltender this season, and she was one we identified that first and foremost is a great human being. She's had experience, and a great opportunity to come in and play in our league. So she's someone that we connected with. Had some conversations with, and it was a good fit for us and a good fit for her. And again, relying on her experience and coming in. And again, her leadership as well has been significant for our program. So we're really excited to add her to our team and our goalie depth this year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a question from Todd now.
Hi, Amber. It's Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. I'm wondering what kind of markers you're looking at as you evaluate this season in terms of progress for the program. What kind of things do you want to see to know that you're going in the direction you want to go?
Yeah, great question, Todd. Thank you for that. Well, first of all, looking at our progress last year that we made statistically, we scored more goals, had less goals against. Looking at some of those areas, special teams. So we made growth from the previous year, and so as we go into this year, looking at those statistical areas where we have to continue to score more goals to win more games, we have to continue to allow less goals again to win more games. And so looking at those areas, special teams is a huge focus for us again this year. Again, we made a lot of progress last year with our power play, made strides from the previous year. Penalty kill is an area that continues to be an area of focus for us as well. But we focus on our process, and that starts in practice and our preparation, what we do with our details on the ice and off the ice. And that's a huge focus for us is on us and what we can do. And so a big focus for us is just our process, our habits, our details, and our preparation. So the expectation that we have is that we continue to make progress in those areas that are continue to focus on areas that we can control. And then hopefully that leads to the outcomes that we want and that we're expected to have this year. So we're really looking forward to, again, another opportunity to make another jump this year for our team and continue to move up in the standings in our league.
And this is kind of a unique year with the Olympic players, being or gone for a while. Teams could look different, week to week. How do you prepare for that as you're looking to play a team that could look different on film than it is, in person?
Sure, that's a great question. For us, it's all about us, right? So we obviously prepare everything that we do. We're scouting opponents and finding ways that we can be successful against them. But for us, it's all about us and the focus on us and what we can do to be successful. So it doesn't matter what lineup the other team brings. We're gonna make sure that we focus on us and our process and how we can be successful. Obviously, there's every weekend might look a little bit different, and you adjust to those things as a staff and as a program. But again, for us, we focus on ourselves and what we can do to be successful every weekend.
Thanks, Amber.
Thank you, Todd.
All right, well, that is all the time that we have for questions for Amber today. Amber, thank you so much, and good luck to you and your team this season.
Thanks, Mackenzie.
Thank you. We are now joined by Haley Armstrong. Hi, Haley.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks. Haley is in her sophomore season, played 37 games and all and recorded 10 goals and 8 assists. She scored and sorry, and Haley was also a first had earned her first WCHA Forward of the Week honor last season, while also being named a WCHA Scholar Athlete and All Academic Team member. At this time, do we have any questions for Haley? We will start with Rob.
Hi, Haley. Rob Aiken of the Beaver Radio Network. Congratulations on being named a captain as only a junior. That's quite a remarkable um, thing to put on your resume. So, congratulations there. You've had a chance to work with the team over the years. Could you describe for us the chemistry and culture that you see coming in for this year's group?
Yeah, no, I think it's exactly what we've been looking for. We always preach, as the Beavs, that we have good culture, and that's something that we rely on. And I think that we have a good group of younger girls who have really bought in. And so everything that we've been asking of them or telling of them and our expectations they've met. Even with the transfers, I think that the coaches did a good job recruiting people who fit our culture and what we want to bring and what we want to continue to grow to. So I think overall, and especially this first month, it's been pretty good and everyone is buying in really well.
Haley, what do you hope the younger players learn from you this season?
I hope that they learn and take in just kind of like our work ethic. Our sophomore and junior class like do the extra things. They put in time away from the rink, at the rink, every day at practice that they're showing up and they're giving it 100%. And I hope that's something that the freshmen take away.
Last question, Haley, what message do you want to send the fans and opponents about Bemidji State this year?
I think that they should know that we're coming. We're ready to play Beaver hockey and compete in the WCHA. And I think that they should be ready for that and excited for what's to come.
Thanks, Haley, and good luck.
Thank you.
We have a question from Jared now.
Hi, Haley, Jared Rubedo, Bemidji Pioneer. Amber touched on it with the only the two seniors, but it's a group that's, the core of this group has been together for 2 or 3 years now. Just talk about how that experience plays into it and maybe kind of overcomes the youth of this team a little bit.
Yeah, I think with such a small senior class, we do have lots of juniors who have been here for 3 years. And we've all been fortunate enough to learn from the seniors of the past and kind of take on that. And we've kind of been ready and waiting for this because we knew that it was coming where we might have a smaller senior class. So I think that the juniors have been ready and ambitious to step up and take over and start to lead the program. So I think it's been good.
What makes Morgan Smith a good candidate to be a sophomore alternate captain?
Just who she is as a human being. I'm fortunate enough to live with her and I get to see it every day. But the way she shows up for her friends, her teammates, anyone around her, it's just amazing to see. And even the work she puts in at the rink, it's just awesome. That's what makes her so great, and that's why that she earned this the title that she did.
Amber touched on it too, but you've gotten to play in some really cool opportunities against the Gophers with Field Trip Day, Hockey Day Minnesota, the Hall of Fame game, and now you get to add another one next weekend, playing in that exhibition. Just talk about how cool those experiences are and how much you're looking forward to that scrimmage in another new another new environment.
Yeah, no, the games we have got to play against the Gophers last season definitely were pretty cool in all the circumstances. And I think everyone's just excited. It's a new rink. I mean, the freshmen and like international students probably have never played in Brainerd. And so I think going to that community is going to be pretty fun. And just to jump right in for everyone and everyone get to be able to play and be a part of that game, I think it's going to be something special.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that is all this time that we have for questions from Haley. Haley, thank you again so much for joining us today. And again, good luck to you and your team this season.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, well, now we will turn it over to Ohio State. The Buckeyes were selected to finish tied for second in this year's WCHA preseason coaches poll and had two preseason all WCHA team selections in junior forward Joy Dunn and senior defender Emma Peschel. Ohio State finished as the NCAA runner-up last season while advancing to its fourth consecutive NCAA title game after a victory over Cornell in the semifinals. The Buckeyes recorded 29 wins overall, with 19 of those wins coming in WCHA play, and they were the only team in the nation last season to beat this defending national champion Wisconsin after a 4-2 win in Columbus during the regular season. Today for the Buckeyes, we have head coach Nadine Muzerall and junior forward Jocelyn Amos. I believe we are going to start with Jocelyn Amos and reverse the order. Jocelyn, thank you for joining us today. And starting off, Jocelyn, she ranked second on the Buckeyes last season with her 52 points off of 27 goals and 25 assists. She finished the season in first in the nation in power play goals with 10 and was also an all WCHA third team selection after recording 33 points during her league games. With that being said, Jocelyn, again, thank you. And do we have any questions to start off? All right, we'll start with Todd.
Hi, Jocelyn. Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. Thanks for doing this. I wonder if you can give us a sense of what uh, the thought is around the team about starting the season. How motivated are you to get this going and to show you can get right back where you were last season?
Yeah, the team's been working all summer. Obviously, we're motivated to get back out there, ready to go, just putting the work in and getting ready with like the way last season went. It just adds fuel to the fire for this year.
All right. Well, Jocelyn, I have a quick question. Just going back to some of the accolades that we talked about in your intro, can you maybe talk about some motivation that you have from those accolades and what kind of goals now have you set for yourself this season?
Yeah, every year you just want to strive to push yourself, get better. I mean, motivation comes from practice every day with the girls on our team. Every day's a battle in and out. So it just pushes you to get better. Obviously, you want to keep striving for more, keep working for more. So I'm just going to keep doing that this year. Yeah.
We have another question from Todd.
Sorry, I meant to ask this before I got muted again, but I wonder if you can describe a little bit of what the season is going to be like, knowing that there are players coming in, going out for Olympic uh, duties and things like that. How does that factor in on a team when you're trying to kind of build that cohesive group? But it could be different.
Yeah, this year will definitely be interesting with people in and out with their national teams. I think for us, it's really important to build the culture right from the start. Just team bonding right away, get together with the girls. So even through with people leaving, keep people coming back, that we stay together as a unit and like even when people leave, like staying in touch with them, and then we keep the chemistry going with each other when we're all here.
We have another question from Giselle. You might be muted. All right. Well, it seems like we're having some technical difficulties on that end. Let's see. All right. Well, with that being said, I will just go with another question, Jocelyn. Can you maybe tell us what game on this schedule that you're looking forward to most this season?
Yeah, I obviously home opener is a big one or like the first game of the season, but I think we're looking at the first game we have against Wisconsin is going to be the one on our mind, but we got some games to go before we get there, so we'll focus on those, but that one will be a big one when the time comes.
Awesome. Thank you. Any more questions for Jocelyn before we hand it over to Coach? Is Coach there yet, Jocelyn? Yes, okay, perfect.
Yep.
Any further questions? All right, well, we will pass it off to Coach. Thank you again so much for joining us on the call today.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, now we have head coach Nadine Muzerall, who enters her 10th season at the helm of the program. She has compiled 225 wins in her previous 9 seasons with the Buckeyes. Last season, coach was named a finalist for the Women's Coach of the Year honor by the American Hockey Coaches Association. We'll give it a moment for coach to come on before we take time for questions. Hi, coach.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. All right, well, we will start. Do we have any questions for coach?
I have a question. How did Amos do?
I think she did good. Giving starting off with the outlook for the team this season, and
She's great. Well, it's better to ask the players and the coaches about what the team's like, so they're in it every day in the locker room.
well, I will start. Oh no, we have a question from Todd first, so we'll go with Todd.
Hey, Nadine, Todd Milewski from the Wisconsin State Journal. What kind of things do you expect to see from your team this season? Not before you really see them on the ice, but what do you expect given the roster that you have?
Well, I expect them to do the three pillars of how our program has been established over the 10 years that I've been here. And that is they're going to be fit, they'll be very physical, relentless, and they'll be fast. And I've already seen that within our preseason training here, where our numbers are the best they've ever been and the best with the incoming freshmen that I've seen since I've been here. So I'm excited for the young kids that are coming in.
And I wonder if you can maybe get into what it means having players coming in and out and for Olympic tryouts and then the Olympics. How do you as a coach kind of manage that and what do you have to do differently, if anything?
Well, we've never really had to manage that. This is going to be the first year that there's not a centralization for anybody. So this will be new for all teams where, our players from all over the world are being taken each month to train for their Olympic team. So it's going to be a new environment for everybody. And it is what it is, and you want them to represent their country, but we're just going to have to make sure that that fitness piece is key, and not only their legs being ready and their heart pumping, but also that their mind is able to wrap around like the playing time that they might have, the importance of our sports performance team and our recovery to making sure that the athletes stay healthy.
Thanks, Steve.
Sure.
We have a question from Jared.
Hi, Coach Jared Rubedo, Bemidji Pioneer. Last year, routinely, you guys dressed 10 forwards in the lineup, and obviously, it took you to a national championship game. But talk to me about forward depth, and do you expect any changes there this year?
Well, to the previous question that Todd had, it is going to be different, especially the last 10 games that we'll have going into the conference quarterfinals, where there's going to be a very short bench on both the forwards and the D side, which is a good problem for our program to say that we have a lot of elite quality players that can represent their country. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier with our fitness. It's not anything that we're going to do differently because our fitness has been pretty strong in the past. That's just a standard of who we are here. So we just, again, I think it's going to be more the recovery piece. But I think that, the young kids are going to get tested, and it's going to be a great year for people to get a lot of playing time. No one's going to be complaining about that for sure. And we just got to manage. We just got to control our controllables. I'm honestly not sitting here like worried too much about it. We know what it looks like in the future, and we just have to do our job as coaches to best prepare what we can do. It's a unique situation again with never having a centralization. So we'll see what how it turns out, I guess. But we're not going to be the only people, the only team with this problem, and that goes back to the depth of our conference. That a lot of teams in our conference are going to be hit hard with this, so we're all going to have the same problem. Um, and yeah, normally we have a shorter bench. That's only been the last year and this year, but it hasn't been that way in the past.
You speak of the fitness levels, and they were, you're at a higher point now than it's ever been. Do you have a reason for that, or is that just a special group of kids that's working for a big goal?
I think two things. One, special group of girls. I do think this is the strongest freshman class in the country. And two, 18.9 seconds. And
Yeah.
if anybody knows what I'm talking about, it would be the fact that we lost the gold and only got a
Yeah.
silver with 18.9 seconds left. So there's a vendetta for that. So the girls took that to heart and came in really strong for the season.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We have a question from Kedrick.
Hi, Coach. Kedrick Stumbris of Badger Notes. I was wondering your thoughts on the experimental high sticking rule this year and just how it impacts the game overall.
I can't answer that. I'll ask me next year this time what I think about that. Um, I really, I'm kind of in the middle on it. We'll see how it looks. I mean, there is, Brad Frost was big on, that with the hand-eye coordination and the ability for an athlete to do that. And it is a skill set. I'm not worried, if kids are not going to be swinging around their stick like, they're fencing or something. It's going to be, highly skilled players. And, um, they also have a helmet on, so and face masks. So I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, I just watched McKenna Webster playing field hockey for 3 years, and they were able to bring that really hard ball down with a very big club with no helmet on. So I think we'll be able to be safe in that environment, and we'll just see how it goes.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question for Coach if we have any. All right, Coach, I'll go. Just going back to having Joy Dunn and Jocelyn Amos back on the team this season. Can you maybe talk, those are your top two goal scorers back from last season. Can you talk about how exciting it is as a coaching staff just to have them back on the team?
Well, absolutely. I mean, they bring more than just what you guys see on the ice. There are leaders, there are captains, there are two of our four captains this year, and they're great kids. And it goes back to why our fitness looks the way it does is because there are some of our leaders and um, fantastic human beings. And yeah, they're very have high IQ, have, what we call the embrace the productive discomfort during the preseasons to get people going. And they do all of who we are as Buckeye hockey and what that encompasses. And they're great role models and leaders for these 8 freshmen that we have. Again, a lot of things that people don't see is what they're truly great at. It's their leadership and um, their team first mindset that makes them um, a great hockey player. So yeah, on the ice, of course, they bring IQ and knowledge and experience, and they deliver in the big games when it matters, and but they stay composed and confident. So I'm very excited for them, and what the next 2 years with them will be like.
Great. Thank you so much, Coach. I
You're
believe
welcome.
is all the time that we have today. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And again, good luck this season to you and your team.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, we will now turn it over to St. Thomas. St. Thomas, the Tommies were selected to finish sixth in this year's preseason coaches poll. Last season, St. Thomas recorded 9 wins, 3 of which came over top 12 nationally ranked opponents. Joining us today from St. Thomas, we have head coach Bethany Brazen and senior defender Haley Maxwell. Coach enters her first full season at the helm of the St. Thomas women's hockey program after being named the head coach of the Tommies this past January. Last season, in the interim position, Coach led the St. Thomas to its first ever sweep of a top five nationally ranked opponent in defeating number four Minnesota Duluth in a series in January. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me and the overly kind introduction, Mackenzie.
Well, with that being said, would you like to go ahead and give us your opening statement and outlook on the team for this season?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're really looking forward to this year. As we've talked as a staff and with all of our returning players and now incomers as well, just projecting what we're really hopeful to be a jump year for St. Thomas. We get our first fully recruited group with freshmen up to senior class of recruit Division I athletes. So when you do a transition to Division I, you know there's always a window of opportunity where you need to do your work recruiting and buy some time to get that full group in there. So we're really looking forward to that. Like I said, with a pretty big incoming class and have some really exciting talent there. And then, of course, we actually went out of our reclassification period as of this year. So we now are eligible for postseason competition, which is a huge transition for our program, historically speaking. And then would be remiss if I did not mention the opening of our new building with the Lee and Penny Anderson Ice Arena. Should feel like a little bit of an upgrade from our current situation and just having a different level of resources and opportunity with that for our current Division I athletes now. And so we're really looking forward to opening the building that October 24th weekend against Providence as well.
Great, thank you, Coach. Well, we already have one question ready for you, so we will pass it to Jared.
Coach Jared Rubedo, Bemidji Pioneer. Congrats on getting the interim tag removed. Can you speak on just how chaotic it may have felt at times last year and how things have maybe settled down a little bit going into your first full season?
Yeah, it's chaotic is a good word to use, Jared. I think that, a lot of times when you anticipate the possibility of ever becoming a head coach for a program, you don't anticipate it necessarily happening mid-season like that. And so there was a little bit of a transition window there of making sure that we could not only build on what we've already established, but implement some new ideas without trying to reinvent the wheel in the middle of a hockey season too. So it was a little bit of a balancing act. I think that our full staff is really looking forward to this year as a brand new opportunity to step into this space and kind of reset things from a cultural perspective, from an on-ice perspective, and really have a fresh start. So certainly having those 5, 6 months to plan and prep and prepare properly for our season here is something that we've been really looking forward to and are excited to get underway.
You to kind of piggyback off that in the resetting for this year, you open the new stadium, you have that first full 4 year senior class. You talk about just the expectations, of taking a step forward this year. What specifically are those expectations? Are you talking results wise, or is it more in the intangibles?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm always cautious to measure things concretely with things like numbers of wins and losses. I think that that's the ultimate goal. We all know that. But certainly in our league, we are up against the best competition in the entire country every single weekend. I strongly believe that. And so for us, it's really the non-negotiables of how we're going to play. It's our systematic predictability for one another and making sure we're disciplined in those spaces. And then off the ice, of course, establishing a culture that we're really proud of at St. Thomas. And that's going to be one that's full of gratitude. We talk about resilience and integrity as individuals and having trusting relationships within our group. And so I think that how you define success and measure it can be a challenge throughout the year. But at the end of the day, as coaches and as a program, you're measured on your wins and losses. So it's a little bit of both, is what I would say. Is it's those small, measurable things that really add to the ultimate performance of a program. But we're cautious in saying it looks exactly like this from a wins-loss perspective. We want to be one of the most competitive programs in the country. That's what I would say. And as we look into this year, we feel really excited and confident about our ability to jump into that space.
Last one for me, but you open the new arena, you are eligible to make the NCAA tournament. You're coming off of a really, really good second half last year. Just how motivating is all of that combined for a group of kids that have a lot of opportunities in front of them that they didn't have last year?
Yeah, I think it's an incredible opportunity. I mean, I joke to our team all the time. I'm like, gosh, what I would give to be a St. Thomas hockey player right now. And even in the recruiting process, I think we've really felt that excitement as we look at this year and the opportunities that it presents. And so I think, as you mentioned, there's a lot of nice springboards coming from how we finished last year. I mean, we look at just the statistics of some of the things we were able to do in the back half of the season. And I really, truly believe St. Thomas was playing the best hockey we've ever played in the back half of the season. And so that gives a little confidence and reassurance as we move into this season, knowing we've already established quite a bit and proven so much. But as we go into this year, we feel more confident than ever that we have the right group in the locker room to make those type of jumps.
Thank you.
We will go with Todd now.
Hi, Bethany. Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. I was going to ask, and I don't know if you've been in how much you've been in the arena yet, or can even be in there while it's being constructed. But what do you think is going to be the best part of having that new facility for your program? What's it going to do or allow you to do that maybe you haven't had before?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate, Todd, to be in and out, and we've had the privilege of walking recruits and families through, in August. Even our players haven't seen it as recent as some recruits have, so they're really excited to move in. We'll move in early October here. But it is, I believe, and can confidently say, I really believe it's going to be the nicest women's hockey facility in the entire country. I just feel like you walk through the spaces and you look at everything from the strength and conditioning space to the nutrition center to the different study spaces, the lounges. It's a really fantastic place to be a women's hockey player. And so I have reminded our athletes of this year. Moving into a brand new facility does not guarantee any level of success. It does not guarantee that you're going to win more games. It doesn't mean your individual performance increases. But what it does is it offers the opportunity for those things because now you have resources in a way that you're not traveling 25 minutes offsite to go to a different facility and train in a space that's more of an average space that you could be using. And so for us, like I said, it doesn't guarantee anything. You still have to put in the work. You have to be intrinsically motivated and committed to getting that 1% better every single day. But now you can't look at it and make one excuse of having a lack of resources. Everything is at your disposal.
And how do you feel the Olympic year is going to impact the WCHA this season? Obviously, a lot of teams are going to have players coming in and going out at different times. What are your thoughts on what that's going to do to the overall, I guess, competitive level?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Olympic years they're always really interesting. I felt that way when I previously was an athlete in the WCHA. They're just a different year because it really forces programs to rise to the occasion. For the teams that have players that are gone for the national programming, you have to ask yourself, how are the other players going to jump in, try to fill those shoes and play a bigger role? For programs that maybe don't have as many national team players, now there's an opportunity to really prove yourself in a space that looked otherwise very different. And so I think that Olympic years are just a really fun, unique challenge, and I think counter to popular beliefs, sometimes even for those programs that lose a lot of national team members, because it allows the space for people to step into bigger roles. Sometimes they have better years, so it just is a really interesting dynamic, especially in the WCHA, where I believe that we have just the most talented teams in the country playing every single weekend. And so for us at St. Thomas, we're really looking forward to that challenge and the opportunity for our players to step into a space to fill some really, really big roles and play some really great opponents through the process.
Thanks.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, we have one more question from Nicole.
Hi, Nicole Hazy, USCHO. I'm kind of just building on what you've been talking about, but being able to host the WCHA tournament, I know you said try not to do concrete goals, but I would imagine you all being able to play in your home building, and that is one of the things you're going to work for. But also just the progression of the program in such a short time to go from not D1 to hosting that tournament and sort of what you've seen from your program, what that means for you all and what that means for the players.
Yeah, it's a really good question, Nicole. And yeah, and maybe I didn't say this well enough. Of course, we have concrete goals. I would be lying if I
Yes,
said that
yeah.
we have certainly talked about that reality of end of the year opportunity to play in a WCHA tournament for the first time in our program's history in our own building. That's not lost on our players. That's not lost on us as coaches. And so, of course, internally, we do talk about those things and have those goals. And Nicole, you are selling me out. That is one of them for us this year is how incredible would it be for us to play in our home building in that space. And so I think that it just, like Todd had asked, it provides the opportunity for our athletes to have those things, those goals to strive for, the resources to get there when you do host an event like that. And so for us, it just adds to that layer of excitement of having all of these really strong incoming players with that really big class, some transfer players that we're really excited about, the opportunity with that reclassification. Now we compete for postseason play in the new building. It just, you add on that event at the end of the year and certainly gives you something more to strive for.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach, for your time today. And now we will turn it over to Haley.
Okay, sounds good. I will grab her. She's in the room next door here.
Thank you. Well, while we're waiting, Haley Maxwell will be joining us. Haley appeared in all 36 games for the Tommies last season while recording 7 assists and 31 block shots on the year. Haley was also named a WCHA Scholar Athlete and a member of last year's WCHA All Academic Team. Hi, Haley. Thank you for
Hi
joining
there.
us. Well, we will now start with questions. Do we have any questions for Haley at this time? We'll start with Todd.
Hi, Haley. Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. I wonder if you can give us a sense of the excitement from the team for playing in Anderson Arena this year and what's going to be the best thing about it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Bethany had already said before too, but we're just so thrilled to actually have a arena on campus. Right now, obviously, we drive 20 minutes there and back every day, and students can't really come see us if they don't have a car on campus. There's really no good way to come there. And obviously, like we play with a at a rink with a high school team too, so it's not exactly up to like WCHA standards, which the new rink will be, and that's going to be, I think, super exciting for us, but also for other teams that are coming in playing in our arena. Um, and then it will just be a great opportunity for our campus and students to actually be able to come watch our games and see us play and have that support system that we really haven't had before. But yeah, we're so excited about it. We move in, I think everybody's counting down the days. So it's coming up and we're just excited for our home opener there, end of October. We'll be on the road for a couple weeks, but yeah, it's really going to be something new and exciting. And I'm excited that I'll be senior and get to play in it for 1 year at least. So that will be good.
And can you give us a just kind of an overview of what you're expecting or what people should expect to see from the Tommies on the ice this season?
Yeah, we have a lot of new players. So we've got 8 freshmen coming in. We have 3 transfers. One of them is a goalie. So we've definitely got a younger team kind of coming in. But we're just super excited to really kind of mesh together. And I honestly think this year is really going to be a big jump for us. We have a lot of talented girls who have been here for a couple years, and then the new incoming freshmen are a very, very talented group of players. So yeah, we're really excited to play those top teams and kind of see what we can do this year. And having that new rink is also going to be a huge part of that as well.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we have a question from Jared.
Hi, Haley, Jared Rubedo, Bemidji Pioneer. I asked Bethany about this, but from a player's perspective, just with the new building, having that first full 4-year senior class at the D1 level, being NCAA tournament eligible now, is there a sense of opportunity within this team that maybe wasn't there in your previous years at St. Thomas?
Yeah, I definitely think, like what you just said, having all of us girls have been recruited as Division 1 players now. I think there's that sense of just that competitive edge now that we've had in the past, obviously before, but I think there's that new opportunity for us to be able to go past just regular season. That really hasn't been something we've been able to do the past couple years, and just having that opportunity, I think, will be huge for us, and it's almost an extra motivator for us to come in here. First 2 weeks have been awesome with all the girls back on campus. Everybody's putting in the work. It's been super fun to see, and it'll be super fun our first couple games to kind of see where the team is standing and get some WCHA games.
Last one, and I don't know how you're going to answer this, but is there anything you'll miss about the St. Thomas Ice Arena?
Yes. I mean, it was weird because I wasn't expecting to be back practicing there this year. I kind of said my goodbyes last season, but definitely will miss aspects of it. I think I mean, that was some of my first games playing Division One hockey was there. And I mean, there's awesome memories there, some huge wins we've had, great games we've had there. And it is a fun rink in the sense that it's a smaller arena, so it does look a lot fuller when there's fans there. So I think that part of it I'll definitely miss. And just kind of, I guess, more of the memories that are there. I'll
Yeah,
definitely miss those, but excited to make some new ones at this new rink.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, thank you. That's all the time that we have for questions for Haley, but thank you very much for joining us today, Haley, and good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
All right, next up we have Minnesota Duluth. The Bulldogs were selected to finish fourth overall in this year's preseason coaches poll and had a preseason All WCHA team selection in junior goaltender Ev Gascon, who was last year's WCHA goaltender of the year and a first team All-American. Joining us today from the Bulldogs, we have head coach Laura Schuler and redshirt senior forward Mary Kate O'Brien. Coach Schuler is entering her second season at the helm of the program, and her first as head coach of the Bulldogs. She guided the team to a 22-win season, with 14 of those victories coming in league action. Coach Schuler also helped the Bulldogs to their 16th overall NCAA tournament appearance last season, as the team also advanced to their fifth straight NCAA regional final appearance. Coach, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, can you go ahead and give us your opening statement and outlook on the team for this season?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, had a fight with the puck this last week, and obviously the puck won the battle, but super excited about our team this year. I think we have a really good mix of veteran players and newcomers. The majority of our returners all played in significant roles for us last year. So it's great to have that continuity and that familiarity with in terms of like our system play and how we want to play as Bulldogs. That's really exciting. And then I think we did really well in the transfer portal. Four of the five individuals that we brought in this year all have international playing experience. So of those four, I would say, that just speaks to their level of talent and the maturity that they're able to bring to our team this upcoming year. And then additionally, when I think about our newcomers, just really exciting. They have really adjusted to the pace of our play extremely well. I've been really, really impressed in our practices. And also not just adjusting to the pace of play, but they've really adjusted to our culture extremely well. And we've done some team bonding experiences, a number of them already, because we do have a lot of new people this year. And that has gone extremely, extremely well. So super excited about our team this year. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to see how we continue to come together.
Thank you, Coach. We will now start with questions for Coach at this time. We'll start with Nicole.
Hi, Coach Nicole Hazy, USCHO. I wanted to ask about, Todd has been asking people about this weird year with possibly players going in and out with the Olympics, but 2010 was a really good opportunity for your team and that Olympic year. And so I was just curious how that experience maybe plays into how you're preparing for this year and like what opportunities that might give you all, particularly with your strong roster this season.
Yeah. One, I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary for us. Like we have had obviously in past Olympic years, we've had people in and out of our program. That's one thing. UMD has always done a really good job of recruiting internationally. And a lot of our Finns and Swedes in the past, when it's been an Olympic year, have been in and out of our roster. So that's nothing new for us. But I think it's just so exciting. We're so exciting for the five individuals right now who are vying for Olympic spots on our team. Our team's known for developing our student athletes, whether it's going on to the PWHL or making their respective national teams or Olympic teams. So we're so excited for them and for this opportunity. And at the same time, huge opportunity for some other of our teammates to be able to step into some critical roles and be able to showcase their strengths and contribute to our team. So all in all, to me, it's just a really exciting time.
Thank you.
All right, Todd.
Hi, Laura. Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. I wonder if you can maybe describe what it's like when you're trying to put players in the new roles. You've had a lot of important players that finished their careers at UMD last year, but it seems like you've got a lot of really important pieces you can put in maybe some more you know higher roles than they played before. How is that working out for you?
I would say one thing that we like to do, and this is something that we take a ton of pride in, is always at the beginning of the year, everybody is given that opportunity to be able to showcase where their strengths are. And then we take a ton of pride in making sure that we put them into areas where they're going to continue to excel. So that's what we're doing right now. We're seeing amazing things. We're seeing, who's going to be able to potentially play in power play situations, who's going to be phenomenal penalty killers for us. And again, just really liking what I'm seeing thus far on the ice. We're definitely not only like coming together off the ice, but on the ice, we're coming together really well.
And I wanted to ask real quick about Ev and what kind of season she had a great season last year, but how can she be better even this year when I know she wants to be better than she was? How does she do it?
That's something that we continue to focus on each and every day. Like our goal is to always be better than we were the day before. She is such a competitor, so committed to just doing exactly that, like being better. She's constantly challenging herself. And, this year is going to be no different for her. I do think that obviously one challenge for her and for our other members who are going to be vying for Olympic spots is obviously staying on top of their academics. They're going to be missing a ton of school. But at the same time, our whole team is aware of that. And we're going to make sure that we're supporting them to the best of our abilities so that they can be successful as student athletes, both on the ice and in the classroom.
Thanks, Laura.
Coach, I'll go with a question. Just looking back, again, you had an incredible season last year. Looking back at the outcome of that final game, just falling very so short at the NCAA regional finals, have you seen that give your team any sort of motivation heading into this season?
Absolutely, absolutely. First off, I thought that game was a fabulous game all around by both teams. It was a back and forth hockey game and just so exciting. The atmosphere there was incredible. So it was so fun to be a part of that championship. But anytime you fall short and you fall short the way that we did, it was a bad bounce, back in the net, hit someone's skate and goes in on Ev, that just adds fuel to the fire. So this year it's something that we've talked about. It's something that, we want to get there again. It's always been a goal of this program to get to the NCAA tournament to win a national championship. And this year will be no different.
Thanks, Coach. We have a
You
question
bet.
for Matt.
Hi, Shu. Matt Wellens from the News Tribune. Do you know who hit you in the face with the puck?
Yes, yes,
The
I
ref-
do.
Who
I
who
do,
was
Matt.
who was the
And
player?
you want to know what? We got it on video. It was a spectacular defensive play, I must say. So it was a small area games, and one of our young freshmen, Ray Meyer, what a play to deflect a puck to prevent a pass going across the seam. And unfortunately, I was out in the neutral zone, nowhere near the play, and it just ricocheted and hit me right square in the face. So, but anyhow, it was a great play. Got it on video. We're going to definitely highlight it.
Thanks, Shu. Talk to you in a bit.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
All right, we have time for one more question from Nicole.
I wanted to ask specifically about Josie St. Martin, who is a player that was really electric at the international level and maybe did not find that same success last season in the NCAA. So just what you see from her and how you feel like maybe she will fit into your systems and with the other players that you have.
First off, we're so excited to have Josie. She was definitely one that we recruited really, really hard. And just so excited that, she decided to take the chance on us. And What a quality person. Oh my gosh. So not only is she talented in terms of like what she can do on the ice, but who she is as a person. She's electric, brings so much great energy to the program, is fitting in seamlessly with our team and our culture right now. So just really overall so excited. And not only that, she's a sophomore. So, we're going to continue and invest in her, continue to develop her. And I just am so excited and can't wait to see where she goes over the next 3 years with our program.
Thank you.
You bet.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Coach. We will now turn it over to MK at this time.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Well, next we have Mary Kate O'Brien, who was named a captain for this year's Bulldog team. Last season, she skated in all 39 games for Minnesota Duluth, while tallying a career best 25 points on the season. And she was also invited to the USA Hockey Women's National Team Festival this summer. Hi, MK. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
We will now start with some questions. Do we have any questions to start off? Right, we'll start with Todd.
Hey, it's Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. I wonder if you can just maybe give us a sense of what the level of excitement is for this team, knowing that you can build on what you did last season and to keep kind of pushing things to another level.
Absolutely. So we've had a long history of success at this program, and we try to get better every year, every day, even. So to know that we can build on that is huge. We have a lot of newcomers, but at the same time, we have a strong group of returners that can kind of pave the way for the newcomers to just hop on board with us. And so we have strong and big goals this year, and we keep that in mind every day when we go to work.
Maybe we have a question from Matt.
Hi, MK. Yes. Quick question. Who would you say is the funniest teammate that you have on the team?
Hmm. Can I say myself?
We'll say that we'll definitely note that down. But a different answer is preferred.
Okay. Grace, you're pretty funny.
Thank you.
I deferred my question to Grace. Thank you, MK. Talk to you in a bit.
See you soon.
All right. Do we have any more questions for MK? I'll go with one. Just being named the captain ahead of this season, what does that mean for you, and how do you look to fulfill that leadership role heading into this season?
Yeah, for sure. And first of all, I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to be back for a fifth year. I got it the old-fashioned way, with an unfortunate circumstance, but just so grateful to be back. And I've been able to play with and learn from so many great leaders during my time here, whether coaching staff, other captains, upperclassmen. So to be able to take pieces from the great leaders in my life and to be able to kind of touch my teammates in that way, with bringing my own flair to it, has been a great opportunity. And so, I'm just so grateful and so excited to be here and to be in a leadership position for this great program is an honor.
Thank you. All right. Well, it looks like that's all the questions we have today. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and good luck with your season ahead.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we will now turn it over to St. Cloud State. The Huskies were selected to finish fifth in this year's preseason coaches poll after recording 15 wins last season, including 13 which came in WCHA action. Four of the team's 15 wins also came over top 15 nationally ranked opponents. And St. Cloud State also recorded its best start to a season in program history last year after recording 6 straight wins to begin its 2024-25 campaign. Today for the Huskies, we are joined by first-year head coach Mira Yoloswo and graduate student defender Grace Wolf. Mira became the 7th head coach in St. Cloud State program history on June 27th. She previously served as an assistant coach for the past 2 seasons with back-to-back Walter Cup champions, the Minnesota Frost. And prior to her time with the Frost, Mira spent a season as an assistant coach with St. Cloud State during the 2022-23 campaign. Mira is also a two-time Olympian and five-time World Championship bronze medalist for Finland's women's national team. Mira, I will hand it over to you and thank you for joining us today. If you could just go ahead and give us your opening statement and outlook on the team for this season.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having us here today. Obviously, very excited for the season. We are opening up 2 weekends with non-conference games. So Lindenwood is coming here September 19th and 20th, and that's going to be our home opener. The following weekend, we are going to Yukon. So I'm very excited to play some non-conference games at the beginning of the season. Then we have a bye weekend, and we go right into the WCHA. And everybody knows WCHA is a grind, so very excited for the challenge and the opportunity. And team is looking great so far. Obviously, we have a little bit bigger roster this year than in the previous years. We have 13 freshmen or transfer students this year, and we are expected to have 5 players going to the Olympics. So very, very excited for our international students.
Thank you, Mira. We will now open it up for questions at this time. I'll start with Todd.
Hi, Mira. Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. What has been your primary focus since you got the job there to get ready for the season, to get the players ready for the season and yourself to put yourself in the best position possible?
I would say that I started by getting to know everybody. So my first thing was like I gave a phone call for every single player who is in the roster and obviously the recruiting class. So that's where I started from, like creating those personal connections with the players. And now we have been on the ice for a couple of weeks already, and we have been working very hard on small, tiny little details and habits. So that was the focus for the first 2 weeks, and now we are getting into the system. So obviously, I used to coach with Brian, so very similar systems. I was lucky enough to coach with Ken Cleese, so I took some things from Ken and some things from Brian. So just trying to mix those two things together and do a little hybrid systems this year.
And if I could just jump in with another quick one. I wonder, what do you think is going to be the biggest impact of the Olympics with some players coming in and going out at different times of the year on the WCHA this season, and maybe just specifically on your team?
Well, in the WCHA, I think that we all are in the same point. Like everybody's gonna be losing players for month of February. We don't know yet if it's gonna be 3 weekends or if they're gonna be gone for 4 weekends. And it is what it is. Everybody's gonna be happy for their international players. It's always an honor to represent your country. And for me, that's more like an opportunity for the players who normally don't get the minutes. So I don't see it as a bad thing. It's more like that now this is your time to shine and earn your spot in the playoff roster.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Bill.
Good morning, Coach. Bill Prout with Center Ice View, Huskies Illustrated. Lots of changes heading into the season. Obviously, your strength is in goal, and you do have some returning goal scorers. However, as you mentioned, you have 13 new players and I think 9 to 10 freshmen. So, for at least for the first half of the season, do you try not to put too much pressure on the players in terms of the win column, but try to focus on some other things, including just creating a winning attitude for the team?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing that we have to understand that we have 13 new players. So I gotta stay patient with the players, and it's a process. We're not gonna be playing our best hockey in the month of September. That our goal is to be playing our best hockey in the end of February. And we already yesterday and the day before we were going through our D zone structure, and it's a little bit different than it was in the past, and that's exactly what I told the players. Well, like it's not gonna be perfect, and it's gonna be okay. We're gonna learn from our mistakes, and I will never be pointing fingers that it is what it is. It's a journey, and it's a fun one.
All right, we have a question from Jared.
Hi, Coach Jared Rubedo, Bemidji Pioneer. Can you just talk about the biggest adjustment for you as a coach moving back into college hockey in an ever-changing collegiate hockey landscape?
Yeah, obviously there's new rules every single year, so I'm trying to play a little bit catch up here. I'm very lucky that I have a great coaching staff who has been coaching here for years, so they gonna like help me out with the paperwork and keeping up with the rule changes. And yesterday we had a WCHA head coaches conference, so I know the new rules, what we are doing this year, like the high sticking rules. So I think that that's the big thing, that I have a network of people around me, that it's not a mirage show. I think that everybody has to understand that I have a lot of people who are helping me, and very, very grateful for that.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, I'll go with the question. Can you maybe talk about the success that you had with the Minnesota Frost and how you can maybe look to bring some of that to your team this season?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is the winning culture. Like that's just what it honestly takes to win the championship at the end of the year. And the biggest thing I learned when I was coaching the Frost is that, like, the beginning of the year, the middle of the year doesn't necessarily matter. That it's a process. Like if you look at Frost, like how we played, like we had a great beginning of the year both years. Middle of the season, we had a slump, but that's okay. Like it doesn't matter. Like both years, we barely made it to the playoffs. We finished fourth in the league, and at the end of the day, what matters is like you have faced some adversity, you have prepared your players, and at the end of the day, what matters is who was playing best hockey in May. So I would say that learning the patience there, and it's every game is it's a different story.
Thank you, Coach. We have time for 1 to 2 more questions. Todd.
Got to ask this before, but I wonder if I could get your reaction to the news that the rink is going to be smaller next season at the National Hockey Center. Um, Obviously not incredibly smaller, but still a little bit. How does that strike you as a development?
Yeah, I mean, our athletic director and the men's head coach, they have been very hard getting that funding for the new rink. So I think that it's a great thing for the university overall. For me, the size of the rink doesn't matter that much. I'm not gonna change my systems based on what is the size of the rink. That we gonna keep playing husky hockey even next year. So that's just my thinking, that I don't have to overreact for the size of the rink, in my opinion.
All right, thanks, Coach. Nicole.
You have one of the unique, I'm sorry, Nicole Hazy, USCHO. You have one of the unique situations in that in this chaotic year with no centralization for the North American teams and the Olympics, like you've done all of this before, not just sort of as a coach, but as a player. How does your experience helping your team, and how much have you talked to them about sort of what to expect in terms of players coming in and out and in the Olympics, and how that offers opportunities for other players, and sets you guys up for success this season?
I think that the biggest thing is that, like, people have to mind their own business. Like you can't be worrying like what is your teammate next to you doing. Like just at the end of the day, like just focus on yourself, worry about yourself. Like at the end of the day, as a head coach, it's my job to put the best lineup possible on the ice every single day. And it's the same thing as a coach. That when I was a little bit younger, I was very impulsive. I overreacted on a lot of things. That now when I'm a little bit older, I also have a toddler, so learned a lot of to have much more patience than I used to have, and I think that's a great thing for the program, that I'm much more calmer than I used to be.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's all the time that we have for questions for Coach. Coach, thank you so much again for joining us today and good luck in your first season.
Thank you.
All right, we will now turn it over to Grace Wolf. Grace was named captain for the Huskies for the second time ahead of the season. She became the fifth Husky in program history to become a captain for 2 seasons. Last year, Grace recorded 9 points for the Huskies off of 2 goals and 7 assists. And she also became a three-time WCHA All-Academic Team member and a two-time WCHA Scholar Athlete. Grace, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Do we have any questions for Grace at this time? Todd.
Hi, Grace. Todd Molesky with the Wisconsin State Journal. I wonder if you can maybe describe what's different this year than it was starting last season for St. Cloud with, maybe a little bit different system, but also what the feeling is just going into a season.
Yeah, it's not too crazy of a change. I mean, obviously, we want to win a national title. I mean, that hasn't changed throughout the last 3 years here. So in terms of that, it's the same. But yeah, there's been a few changes in systems, but nothing too crazy that we can't adapt to, and we're already working on it. So I have confidence that we're going to be able to do all of that well. But we still have a winning culture here. I mean, we've brought in what we had with Brian to this year. With Miri and the foundation that me and the leadership team have created. So in terms of that, nothing really has changed. We know that we want to win and do well and contend for those top spots in WCHA and in with the national title. So none of that has changed at all.
One of the things that stood out for the last few seasons at St. Cloud is that just how difficult it is to crack the top four of the WCHA. And I wonder how, having tried for a few times, maybe some experience helps your team this season in that, trying to go at it again this year.
I would say for sure. It's more we gotta stop thinking about who it is and just play. I mean, we've tried to get past Duluth a few times in the playoffs and have not been successful in the way we want it. So I think once we get over that, then everything's a free for all. I mean, we've beat the top three teams multiple times. So I think once we can get over that hump, then we're going to be set to contend for those top spots.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bill.
Good morning, Grace. Bill Prout with Center Ice View and Huskies Illustrated. You've lost a lot of experience at D this year, and then I've always felt that for the past 2 seasons you've been pretty much of a leader back on defense, but now this year you're a captain, and even more so than that, your role has probably changed even more, almost like a coach on the ice with four freshmen on defense. So can you talk a little bit about how your role is going to change this year and, what will you have to do as a captain leader?
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot would change. We have a great coaching staff that is really good at picking out like what the D needs to do and kind of I'm just taking those younger girls underneath my wing and they know that when I am giving them criticism that it's coming from a good place and it's not a bad thing and that they're here to learn and they're all really willing and really good at taking that. So in terms of that, I have no worries about them adapting. They've already gotten so much better since the time that they've been here the past few weeks. So my role is just going to be being the leader that I am, and a lot of people just watch the way I play and how I go about things, and they take notes on that. So, I think just that attests to them following and doing that in the same steps. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I like taking people under my wing and showing them how it's done. So I think in that sense of things that's how I'm gonna lead for the majority of the season.
And one other question I had was in regards to the new experimental high stick to redirect a puck into the net is something that, as a player, you've probably never had to defend against. And I don't know that it's going to be that big of a factor this year, but in any case, how do you have to somehow practice, positionally a little different to maybe defend that?
I think it's just no, just being more conscious of where the player stick is and making sure that they don't have a lane to where they can tip that. So I think it's just a little bit part of the game, but it won't be anything major because I mean we should be taking care of them in front of the net anyway. So it should just go hand in hand with each other.
All right. Right. Well, I think that's all the time that we have for questions now. So thank you, Grace, for joining us today, and good luck this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, next we have the defending NCAA champion, Wisconsin. The Badgers were selected to finish first overall in this year's preseason coaches poll. Wisconsin took home both preseason superlative honors as senior defender Caroline Harvey was named the preseason player of the year, and freshman forward Adela Shapovalova was named the preseason rookie of the year. Wisconsin also had two preseason All WCHA team selections in Harvey and senior forward Kirsten Sims. The Badgers are coming off a season where they won the NCAA title, the WCHA Final Faceoff title, and WCHA regular season title. Wisconsin also had all three of the top three finalists for the Patty Kazmaier Memorial Award last season, two of which are returning in Harvey and Layla Edwards, as last year's Casey O'Brien became the sixth Badger in program history to earn the honor. Today, we're joined by head coach Mark Johnson and fifth year forward Marion Picard. Coach Johnson has compiled 667 wins in his 22 seasons with Wisconsin, and last season he was the WCHA Coach of the Year as well as the Women's Hockey Coach of the Year by the American Hockey Coaches Association. Coach Johnson, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks. Do you want to go ahead and give us your opening statement and outlook on the team for this season?
Well, I think the big thing for us here in Madison is how the team that's coming back, the players from last year's team, reacted to what happened last year, and the early part of camp, people came into camp in very good shape. It's going to be an interesting year because of the Olympic cycle, and some teams are going to have to deal with some things as far as players coming and going. So that process has started already for us. And as we go through the year, the better job we do of handling those situations off the ice, the better job we'll be able to do things on the ice. So we look forward to the challenges that present not only ourselves as a coaching staff, but I think our players and our team as a whole.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach. We'll start with questions and start with Todd.
Hi, Mark. Todd Molesky, the State Journal. We heard all those things from last season that Mackenzie rattled off, and I wonder how you top that, or how you keep everyone hungry to do it again, or to go at it again.
Yeah, that's a good question, Todd, just from the standpoint that, success can hinder, future success. And so, as much as everybody enjoyed what happened last year, this is a new season. We have six new players on the team. We lost players, obviously, from last year's team. And in my eye, and hopefully in the players' eye, the process started last week when we had our first practice. And how can we come collectively together as a team, knowing that there's going to be a bunch of different adversities as we go through this season. It'll be a new experience for our coaching staff. It's certainly be a new experience for the players that are going to be part of our team. And so that's the challenge. So one day at a time, try to learn about each other as quickly as we can. Hopefully have some success in the early part of the season to build up some confidence, and no different than any other year. By the time you hopefully get to Halloween and Thanksgiving, you look a lot better than as we look today. And then you get in the second half and get near the end, that you're coming together as a team, and you give yourself an opportunity maybe to do something special at the end. And that's going to be, our job as far as team chemistry, playing together, working together, helping one another. And as I mentioned, what we do off the ice is probably going to be more important than what we do on the ice this year to have a successful year.
Given those Olympic departures for some short stretches, obviously in February, longer stretches, how important is it for the players that are going to be here to know that they can step into bigger roles and roles that maybe they haven't had to play before, whether it's a power play role, penalty kill, or even as a starting goalie, to be ready for those when they come up?
Yeah, so I mean, our first meeting with the group was, talking about, I call it the elephant in the room. It's definitely there, and so I think if you can have a conversation and be transparent about it, you have a better chance to handle it, because there'll be times in this season that we're going down a nice smooth highway, and things are looking good and everybody's feeling good, and then somebody's going to step left or right and jump on a landmine, and some things are going to blow up, and there'll be some adversity come our way. And if we're willing to work together, help each other out, put the team ahead of your individuals, you have a chance to, become a team that's, willing to sacrifice some things in the betterment of the entire group. And if we do a good job in that space, I think what the product will look like on the ice will be much better and stronger.
Thanks, Mark.
Coach, I'll go with a question. Just looking at your roster, you have 15 upperclassmen on this year's team. How does that help you as a coach and a coaching staff heading into this season?
Well, I think that's, as all the coaches, you're looking at what's coming in and, what positions can, kids play and, uh, the pieces we have coming back. I mean, there's a lot of good pieces in place. Kids that experience, kids that now have won. The big question for us is, how quickly can we get the young players and our freshmen up to speed and get them accustomed to playing in our league, game in and game out. And I think, some of the mentorship our upperclassmen will be able to, give to our younger players can be certainly helpful. But I like a lot of the pieces, when those players are around. And the fun part for, I think, the coaching staff will be, what we can do with those players that are going to get, a bunch more playing time when those players are going to be gone from us, and what we can do to improve them and collectively, make a good, solid team when those kids are gone. So, good challenge ahead of us. We're accepting the challenge, and as we step forward and we get going here in the next short period of time, then the puzzle's going to be slowly put together, and we'll see what it ends up looking like at the end of the year.
Thanks, Coach. We have a question from Kedrick.
Hi, Mark. Kedrick Summers, Badger Notes. Wondering what your early impressions in camp of some of the young newcomers have been, and particularly, what's it like tripling your number of Gorbachenkos on the team?
We got the natural hat trick now. We got all three of them in here. So a competitive level of our practices went up with those three young ladies on the ice because they're very competitive. Uh, they're improving and seeing a lot of good things. But from our younger players, we've got some good size, we've got some good skill. Uh, they came into camp in very good shape. So the early part of them, we've been on the ice 4 times now, but I certainly like what I see. This week we're without our national and Olympic players, and so what we're seeing this week has been positive. And like I've said all along, that we just got to keep getting better. And so, what can we do today to make them better, to get them more comfortable? And then as we start playing games, how can we instill and get their confidence level up high, knowing that they're going to be relied on quite heavily?
Thanks, Mark.
Nicole.
Hi, Mark. Nicole Haas, USCHO. I just wanted to ask about Adela Shapovalova, your first European player in program history. Obviously, much more experience than your typical incoming freshman. But what you saw from her that made you, sort of make her the first European player, and how you see her sort of fitting into the scheme this year.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years, the things that she's experienced, whether it was in Sweden or playing with the Czech national team, will help her as she adjusts to our league. The big thing is, I mean, she's only probably been here 10 days. She wasn't able to come in this summer because of some of the responsibilities she has back in her homeland, which is understandable. So, her skill level, her hockey IQ, uh, is really high. And I think that'll help her adjust to, the competitiveness of our league. And I think as she goes through the season, I think we'll watch her improve. I mean, like I say, we've only been on the ice 4 times with her, and there's a difference in practice 4 than there was in practice 1. So she's a high level player. We're excited to have her. She's got a smile on her face. She's made the adjustment with her new roommate coming in and all the things that you have to do from an international standpoint to get through things here in Madison. But she seems to be happy, and our job is to provide her and equip her and try to improve her. So we look forward to that, and we're excited to have her in camp.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's all the time that we have for questions for Coach. Coach, thank you so much again for joining us today, and good luck this
Thank
season.
you.
All right. Well, we now have Marion Picard, who skated in all 41 games last season for the Badgers while totaling 18 points. She was also a WCHA All-Academic team member as well as a WCHA Scholar Athlete last season. We'll give it a moment for her to come on before we start questions. Hi, how are you?
Hi. Perfect.
All right. Do we have any questions to start off?
No, I'm ready.
All right, we'll start with Todd.
Hey, Marianne, Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. Uh, how do you guys keep motivated after the season you had where it seems like you did everything? And I wonder what the upperclassmen have kind of said about having one last go at it.
Yeah, we kind of told our freshmen that this year's was going to be even harder to win it. I feel like once you win it once, you have a target on your back. So we kind of prepare them for it. And you should see how competitive it is in practice. I feel like we don't even need motivation. Like we are basically hitting each other, trying to fighting for a starting spot on the lineup. So I feel like we've never needed motivation. We just motivate each other. And obviously, having won like the Natty twice, I want my little freshmen to get a taste of what it feels like. So I'm kind of taking them under my wing and pushing them to be better so that we can win another one this year.
And I wonder if you could maybe speak to the idea that there's going to be a lot of opportunities for players who haven't maybe been on a power play or been on a first penalty kill to get that this season in some pretty critical games and critical stretches. How important is it for everyone to be ready to adjust to whatever role they need to be in this year?
Oh my God, yeah, that's a good question. I feel like we've had a lot of team meetings about it because obviously this year is going to be such a different season. Like we've never had a season like this before. Have the roster, like our top players, like six of our top players are going to be leaving almost every month. So I think it's interesting that everyone is going to have an important role at some point. Like you could be a fourth line player and then one weekend and then once they leave you're like a second line player. So you kind of have to be able to fill those shoes when the time comes. So once again, like in practice, we're kind of like all competing against each other, getting each other ready to fill those big shoes. And I think it's going to be so interesting that players that have never gone the spotlight, like this is their chance to step up. Like this is their chance to put their name out there and score some important goals for us. Even for me, I feel like this is going to be such a fun opportunity. But yeah, we're really excited.
We have time for one more question. Do we have any other questions?
I do if no one else does. I'll jump into another one.
Good job.
Okay. I can you maybe get into how this summer went in terms of you have to enjoy it, but you have to know that there's things to train for again, right? How did you work that balance?
Yeah, especially with the freshmen coming in, you kind of have to teach them that you can party hard, but if you party hard, then on Monday morning you better be the fastest on the ice. And I feel like coming out of high school, we don't really realize that it's a big balance. And obviously we had like 6 a.m. workouts almost all summer, so that kind of set the tone for the rest of the year. But yeah, I feel like it's nice that we're here during the summer because it really allows us to kind of get into the groove of things. And then when school starts, we're kind of used to the grind and the like effort it takes to compete at this level on a daily basis.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Marian. That's all the time that we have for questions. I appreciate you joining us and good luck this
Yeah.
season.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Well, now we have our final team of the day. We have Minnesota State. The Mavericks were selected to finish seventh in this year's preseason coaches poll. Last season, the team earned 14 wins, as three of those 14 came over top 10 nationally ranked opponents, including a victory over number two Ohio State at home during the regular season. Today, we are joined by Minnesota State Associate Head Coach Jeff Geeson, who is here filling in today for Head Coach Sherry Dickerman. And we are also joined by senior forward Taylor Otremba. Coach Geeson is entering his 11th season with Minnesota State women's hockey team. Coach, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Do you want to go ahead and provide an opening statement and outlook on the team for this season?
Yeah, well, we're pretty excited. We have a very young team. We have 10 new players, 10 or 11 new players, 10 freshmen. So pretty excited around here. Lots of energy, um, and anticipation of what's going to come. Obviously, there's a lot of unknowns, and a lot of people have to fill in some roles that they haven't been in, and so we're excited about that after graduating a huge class last year and a lot of veteran players and veteran leadership. But we've actually been on the ice from the get-go here. We open next weekend, which is a little odd for us, but we're playing that first weekend. So we've liked what we've seen so far, and like I said, we have a lot of energy and some excitement here around the Maverick program.
Thank you, Coach. We will start with questions. Todd.
Hey, Jeff, Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. You've seen a lot of different kinds of WCHA seasons. Has there ever been one like this where there's going to be players on different teams coming in, coming out, different weekends? You might not know what to look for in terms of some of the really high skill players might not be there for a week or a month at a time sometimes.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be really, really different. Obviously, without the United States and Canada centralizing, that changes the dynamic huge, especially for the during the Olympic Games. In the past, we've had, the European players don't seem to centralize, so you'd miss those players in and out during the season. But I think this year with the large group not doing it, and for us here navigating with Sherry's um, on the national team staff right now and missing her, a week a month and through the Olympics, we hope will be a little bit challenging, but yeah, I think it's going to make for an interesting year and some excitement. I mean, there's going to be some teams that are going to be down some players in certain weekends, and it might tip the scales a little bit one way or the other.
And can you maybe give us an idea of, with all the new people you're trying to bring into the program, what players are you counting on to kind of set the tone, to set the example for what you want the program to be?
Yeah, well, I think we got great leadership in Taylor Otremba and Kiana Roski, that are going to keep what we've been doing here. I mean, we had pretty seamless transition from Coach Harrington to Coach Dickerman, and with me staying along. So, we're going to continue to keep that, where we work hard, and we're going to be hard to play against, and hopefully we're going to score some goals. We're going to try to play an up-tempo offensive game, and that's like we kind of got been calling the training the puppies right now, and they want to run. So we're going to hopefully have play an up tempo, exciting game.
All right. We have a question from Bill.
Hey, Coach Bill Prout, Center Ice View Huskies Illustrated. A lot of young teams in the league this year. And do you think maybe a difference maker might be how well, your freshmen will match up against some of the other teams? I mean, if your freshmen play well, that could be a difference maker. The other question would be just talk a little bit about your goaltending coming into the upcoming season.
Yeah, I think that's the great unknown. I think doesn't matter what team you're on, your freshmen and how they're going to adapt to the college game. With 10, we hopefully five or six step up right away, and ease into it and can kind of adjust quickly. We obviously have some. We're pretty excited about our incoming class. I mean, we have Mercury Bischoff with Miss Hockey, Zoe Lopez. We've got some quality players in that group, but how they transition to the college game is going to be a question that we won't know until we throw the puck out there next week against RPI. Our goaltending, obviously Haley Hansen returning and has looked really well here early in the season. Caden Strosky, a freshman, is gonna kind of bide for some time, and then we brought back Avery Stillwell, our tennis savior from 4 years ago, is full time with us as kind of a third. So she's piecing together. So she hasn't played full time hockey in a while, but we're excited to have her, and she's been a good contribution here early in the season.
Any further questions for Coach at this time? Todd.
I do have one more. Sorry. It's about what you're looking for in terms of markers for progress. What kind of things are you hoping to see this season that tells you, you're on the right path and that things are continuing the way you want them to go?
Well, I mean, obviously we're trying to move into that top four. We've hovered around it at 5, 6. We've been opportunities kind of wasted to move up in the standings and you know so that's kind of where we're shooting for. I mean, and I guess how we progress, we're trying to obviously, you're trying to win more games, and you got to win some games against national powers, and our league's not easy. It doesn't matter who you're playing, and I mean, the preseason poll is the preseason poll, but I just chuckle because it doesn't matter who you're going to play in that group of 8, you're going to have a battle, and we try to explain that to coaches out east, and yeah, they kind of poo-poo it. But I think for us, we're trying to get into that top four. We'd love to host a playoff series, and that's kind of what we're always shooting for. And to do that, you're gonna have to win some more games along the way.
All right, we have time for one more question. If you have. All right, Coach. Well, I'll go with the question. You kind of touched on it, having some newcomers on the team this season, but you also have returning 13 players. So, what does that mean to you as a coach, as a coaching staff, to have those returners back this season?
Yeah, because I think it's great, and that, like I said, we have a great leadership group, and I think they know what our expectations are and how we want our program to be looked upon. And so I think they're doing is a great job, in the locker room when we're not able to be in there, in the locker room as far as with those young kids. And we had an unbelievable summer. We had, uh, 22 of our 23 players here for 5 weeks in the summer, and that really helped set the tone coming in this fall with the early start. We really didn't get a chance to ease into it. We kind of got going as soon as classes started, and um, but yeah, that group knows what it's like, and they know the grind, and they've been doing a great job of explaining that and helping out in practice with that younger group and what our expectations are.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach, for joining us today, and wish you and your team good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we will now turn it over to team captain for the Mavericks this season, Taylor Otremba. Last season, Taylor recorded 12 goals and 14 assists in 37 games for the Mavericks. Taylor was also a WCHA Scholar Athlete and WCHA All Academic Team member last season. Taylor, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Do we have any questions for Taylor at this time? Todd.
Hi, Taylor. Todd Molesky from the Wisconsin State Journal. Can you maybe share what you think might surprise some people about the Mavericks this season and what you're hoping will surprise some people?
Yeah, I think that with all the new players, no one really knows how they play. So, based off practices and how the summer has been, I think we're going to bring a lot of intensity and physicality. Um, I think based off what we've been producing, like people are going to be surprised by what comes at them and how aggressive we are. And I'm excited to see it during games.
Taylor, just a quick question for me. How does being named team captain this year, does it affect your mindset going into this season any differently? And how do you look to, take that leadership role?
Yeah, I'm not trying to think too much about it. Don't want to get it to my head whatsoever. I want to just keep being the player that I have been and not change my mindset based off it, but also making sure that I lead those younger players in the right direction and speaking up when I have to, but maintaining that same play that I do and just being a leader out there.
Thanks, Taylor. Do we have any other questions at this time for Taylor? Taylor, I'll go with one more. Just going back to, we didn't touch on this in the intro, but you were invited to the USA Hockey Women's National Team Festival this summer. Can you maybe tell us what you took away from that experience and how you expect to use that heading into the season?
Yeah, a lot of great competition. Learned a lot from it. It was high intensity all around the board and just a great opportunity to see the pace of play that needs to be the expectation. So I think carrying into the season, I think maintaining that throughout the whole season and making sure that I can bring that intensity in practice so that my teammates can feel that level and they can grow in their play of game too.
Thank you. All right. Well, it looks like we have no further questions today. Taylor, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join our call, and we wish you good luck this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.